feels like AlphaJet gave them a boost, which they needed. It looks like it's some kind of, how it's called, honeymoon period, right?
Ooh,
like when
yeah.
teams are playing really good after a change, and at some point they stop playing that good, but no one knows when it's going to happen, right? So we'll see.
I mean, for me, there's like two elements to Valorant. There's like the structure and the strategy, and there's the individuals and how good you are like skill-wise. And I think during this, like when we're facing us, like Dirk and Alpha Year, they turn up, they're really good individually, but we kind of match equally in terms of strats. Like maybe some team is better than the other, but in the end, they seem to always like edge us out in terms of like some important rounds and important clutches. But I think every game, except for when we had a sub, is really close, like 13-11, overtimes. So I'm confident in this matchup. We have our full team and, you know, 5th time's the charm, so.
That's as they say. 5th time is a charm. It's
Yeah.
very true. We do have another tweet as well, because first line of my career,
Yeah.
I will enjoy and cherish every single moment of this. It's super wholesome, super nice. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is your first LAN.
Yeah.
Did you ever foresee it? Because yeah, every person always is like, I'm gonna go compete in LAN, compete on stage and stuff. Did you feel like this was a good opportunity for you to kind of give yourself that boost, that opportunity? Like, here you are, this is it, you've made it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Valorant is my first real esport, so I'm like risen to the top quite fast. So everything for me is a new experience. Like even coming to this LAN, I realized I have to change some things up, like how your procedures is done, like how your structure is done, and I think I learned a lot. And I think for me, that's my personal mission.
Yeah.
At least here is just to get to experience it, get to play on stage, like see how it's different from at home. Get to experience the pressure, do interviews like this, you know, be on camera, meet everyone. And for me, that has always been my dream, like my whole life. So like to be able to do it and to try to do it good, you know, do it good, we will see. But to be able to do it and learn, like it's, for me, it's the best gift I could ever have. So
just real quick, but you've been to a lot.
Well, us two are like, not that many. You two are just like every LAN under the sun.
Like I've been on some.
You've been on some. But you feel like this is different?
No.
No? Just another day
It's
in
like
the office.
after like 10's LAN, big LAN attendance, like it all becomes the same. Like obviously there is some small difference which you need to adapt to.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay.
It's like okay.
It's like okay.
That's sometimes you just got to have the vibe like that, Brent.
Angel has got such a calm, intimidating vibe to him. I don't know what it is. It's like he's got easy access to my kneecaps because I'm so tall. It's like he's a dangerous guy.
Wait,
he's a dangerous guy. That's what you got to be watching out for, GB. If you
okay. So Angel goes for the kneecaps. Confirmed.
Oh, I don't know. I've never fought Angel, but he was cool, calm, and collected in that interview. He's a scary. He's like, you know, listen, the guy was like another day in the office at the end.
Really? I mean, he's a guy who can switch from 20 different agents across a plethora of different agent pools. So if he can do all that and is cool, calm, and collected as that, then I'm going to certainly be scared of what he's going to pull out.
Well, I tell you one thing, Fnatic better watch out for their kneecaps, apparently. That's a new thing I learned from Brent. All right, well, folks, by the way, if you're at home, okay, why don't you go ahead and tweet about the show? Let us know who do you think is the best dressed one up here? I don't know. Like, go nuts.
The green.
Go nuts.
It's
right?
the green.
It could be the green. It could be the painter's look, you know, or it could just be my rebellious biker gang image here. I don't know. Let us know. Make sure you use the hashtag Valorant Masters or hashtag VCT so we can see your tweets featured on the show throughout all today's broadcast. Have fun with it, people. But seriously, I do want to know why I'm the best dressed person here. Also, if performance anxiety, why not just scan the QR code that's going to pop up on the screen? There. Damn it. Could have done it better, but I didn't do it that time. All right, take part in today's Twitter poll. It's a real easy question. Who do you think is going to win Masters Copenhagen? Is it PRX, OPTIC Gaming, FunPlus Phoenix, or Fnatic? Do we have any opinions?
Wait, I'm just going to scan.
You're really going to scan this right now? Wow.
Can you guess? Can you guess who I'm picking?
I don't know. I have a feeling you're going to go for OPTIC.
Ooh, you got me.
Yeah, because of the green.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm wearing the green, baby.
She's just trying to farm clout on Twitter.
That's fine. I mean, that's the game.
A smart play to go.
I'm not posting anything about the OPTIC. I'm just letting it happen.
That's fair. That's fair. What do I
got? My answer. I want the 2-time. I want the repeat titles. I want OPTIC, but every essence of my soul, I'm a paper boy. I'm looking at that PRX.
If Yinsu was here, she would just high-five you.
I'm telling you now, Sue came up with a banging line for that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm a paper boy. I want that team to do well.
He's a paper boy in a paper world. All right, well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we're going to deep dive on our first match of the day between PRX and OPTIC Gaming. Of course, we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to Masters Copenhagen, and of course, our pre-show for today's matches. First up, we're going to be talking about PRX versus OPTIC Gaming, our upper bracket final. Now, you know, as the #1 Southeast Asian seed here, PRX, they got a bye in the group stage, and despite having players off-site due to COVID, they've won both of their matches, Bren, and they haven't dropped a map yet. This team is kind of ridiculous.
They're so fun to watch. They are looking in prime form. They're looking better than ever as well coming into this Master event compared to the previous one. And now we finally get to see the majority of their roster on the stage as well on top of it. Because like you mentioned, you know, they've been kind of having those issues in terms of some of the players contracting COVID. But I'm so excited to watch this team progress further and further and really see the heights that they can potentially go to against as well. You know, the former champs in the form of OPTIC here in the upper finals.
Yeah, a victory here would be absolutely massive for the team. And just it's very possible because this team plays a style of Valorant that is fast-paced, in your face. It's awesome to watch. Dare I say, like, these guys, they're madmen out there.
I think they have one of the most impressive attacking sides of Valorant that I've ever seen. And Need for Speed can sometimes be chaotic, but for this particular roster, they harness it in such a controlled fashion. They themselves have the fastest attacking time to plant spike of any team in the entire tournament. It's within 30 seconds. The round starts, and within 30 seconds, they have the spike down. Imagine that, just getting in, you commit every piece of utility, and before you know it, all of the teams surrounding you on site. That is an incredible feat to do as confidently as they do it.
Yeah, and they have so many different interesting looks like this, so many little executes that you have to be ready for. If you're OPTIC coming up against this, it's a lot to prepare for. When is Jing going to be double satcheling into you with a Haunt and a Flash? Well, it's probably going to be every other round, honestly, because they have so many different looks. And I mean, Jess, I know that you really wanted to talk about these Euro particular moments as well that these guys are pulling out.
It's unbelievable the kind of pairing that you can get from both Jing and Forsaken. The fact that he can take space in the matter of 10 seconds with those blast packs. And if he dies, it's traded almost simultaneously.
Yeah, I just don't know how this team, man, it feels like what it is that they just throw caution to the wind endlessly, right? They don't particularly care about it. You can see it in the stats as well, and they have reaped the rewards of that, Brent.
Yeah, these guys, Jing and Forsaken on your screens right now, I think they're making a claim for the best duelist duo currently in the tournament. They are putting up numbers. They are a centerpiece of the way that they play. And of course, the support team behind them, the rest of the team, you've got to give them credit as well, because they wouldn't be able to get away with as much as they do if they didn't have, you know, that kind of backup. But at the end of the day, it's because those guys are so goddamn skilled.
Yeah, don't let those kind faces fool you. Those guys
are
demons. They're demons. They're demons. All right, well, look, last week, PRX found themselves a round away from dropping a map to Guild. Oh, the humanity. But pulled together and clutched out a big win. How? teamwork, good old-fashioned teamwork, and of course, good communication. Those mics aren't just for saying, hey, how did you get that Riot gun buddy, or nice for the 500th time. Let's actually go ahead and take a peek inside the comms in this in-zone open mic.
Half of Guild's maps so far in Copenhagen have gone to overtime. Can they stop this one?
OPTIC's gonna come B. Splitting B, I think. I'm clear.
You guys push him in. 40 seconds. Nice. Drop. This time. Second floor.
Did you drop?
Second floor, guys.
No, attack floor. City. Race City. Aaron, just hold.
City. They're going split B, guys.
B.
Yeah, go B. City to B.
Side one. Face up. Don't pick.
Side. I'm flashing.
On the default.
That side. I'm plan for City. I'm plan City.
Tower.
I'm plan City. Not for City, boys. I'm plan for City.
Play with him.
Bombs on.
Let's go, guys.
Go together.
Go.
I know more wala.
They all in City. At the capping together.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
I'm slowing City, guys.
Yep. Okay, walk.
Warning.
Molly me. Nice.
I did.
Wait, I can go.
Canteen.
Canteen on the right. We have a Molly, Aaron.
I'm on him. Still on right.
Can you tap D?
Not there.
City.
You want half it,
Half it. Can defuse.
Two guy. Okay, go. You don't know. Nice. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I guess in that case, it kind of was for nice there to say nice. That's good. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to OPTIC Gaming, our defending champs from Reykjavik. They had a bad day one, but that only seems to have awakened the beast within. Since that loss, they have won 4 straight matches, taking down Loud, Crew, Exet, DRX, and have made Jesgoat a believer of the green wall.
I did. I converted. You saw me on, a few days in. I was like, after that trip and stumble, they got up and they ran faster than I've seen anyone ever recollect themselves. This is a team that is primed and ready for that 2-time spot, that champion to stand on the stage. And this man on your screen is going to help get them there.
Absolutely. This guy has just gone from strength to strength. Early on, we mentioned it. Look at the statistics here on the left side, the groups, and look at the uptick in his performance when he's headed into the playoffs. This guy is a menace to society. I mean, how would you do this against better teams, arguably? When you get into the playoffs, you're playing against harder opponents, and yet his numbers are only increasing. And I feel like, again, there's so much pressure on this guy that he places on himself that we do talk about him a lot. And if he doesn't light the world on fire, it's an underperformance for him and for everybody else watching. But I just really want to highlight how good this guy has been as we keep progressing later and later in the tournament. And honestly, keeps his form up. They are looking like, once again, world beaters.
Yeah, if he keeps playing like this, and it's also unfair too, because if he keeps playing like this, he's gonna, as Brent said, light the world on fire. But on top of that too, though, right, he's got a great supporting staff in him as well. Dare I say, Marv is probably just in the contention for one of the best players in the game right now because of his consistency.
I'm glad you're saying that because I'm right on that particular train as well. I said I think he is the most consistent player in the world. I'll always stand by that. And look how close these stats are. This man is a controller player. We're not talking about him being a duo with Ye as 2 sort of duelist players. He is one of the biggest and brightest support players we have in Valorant right now. He'll step on the stage and he'll show you what that's all about.
It is madness, honestly. He's able to put up those numbers. I love that you mentioned as well that he's playing the smokes, he's playing the controller role, yet still just absolutely dominates. And there's so many iconic moments with him and Ye as a dynamic duo, even though you don't think of them as a duo.
No.
But often they're left in that scenario where they're picking up the pieces of the rest of their team, and they always come up with the goods. He is so consistent, so clutch, and honestly, the guy has had an uptick in his performance all tournament long. The guy is a true animal.
You genuinely couldn't ask for a better matchup to open up the day here in Copenhagen. 2 phenomenal squads. Now look, following OPTIC's win over DRX, the lovely Brennan Sideshow actually sat down with Marv and Victor for a chat about OPTIC's performance at Masters so far and their feelings about playing in front of you wonderful people, this fine audience. Let's go ahead and take a look.
What's up? Brennan and I are sat here with the defending champs, the winners of Reykjavik, fresh off another win against DRX here as well. And you've now solidified your place, Marv, Victor, to the point where you're going to be playing for the first time with a crowd. Now, unfamiliar actually as to whether or not you've had that opportunity in the past with prior careers. Have you ever played in front of a crowd like this before?
I've played in front of like a lot smaller crowd. It was for DreamHack Rio and CS.
Right.
Yeah, so it was there's a lot smaller crowd than this.
Yeah. Did you find it changed anything? Did you feel like you were playing?
Yeah, you definitely feel the energy. It depends on the headsets and like if you can hear the crowd or not and like how loud they are. But if they get loud and you have a lot of the white noise, that's how you know like the energy is high in the venue right now.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to it, Marv?
Yeah. I mean, the only crowd I've had is in my high school basketball games, so it's gonna be great.
Did you pop off in the high school basketball
game?
Pop
off some games, no, not so much.
You were built for Valorant, not for basketball.
Yeah,
I understand that.
exactly.
I understand that.
Well, I want to dive in on one of the games you had as well, because Marv, you were talking about this kind of rivalry that you guys have had with DRX as well. You were showing some real passion there, just in that match in general as well. I could tell how much that game meant to you guys overall. Is there any other team in the tournament still in it right now that you have that kind of rivalry with?
I wouldn't say so because we haven't really played these teams as much, but obviously Fnatic, everyone is saying it's going to be a good matchup against us, or any EMEA team, in my opinion. So yeah, if we get to play those teams, I hope it's going to be a great game. But yeah,
I want to play an EMEA team to break the curse.
Of course.
Like, like I hate this narrative that we can't beat any EMEA team. It's annoying.
Yeah, the mentality that you guys had in that DRX game was so fired up. I mean, the emotions were hot. And you played some of the best Valorant that I've seen from you guys too. But on the other side of that, you had the Loud finals at Reykjavik, where it was super chill, barely popping off, not like you just knew that you were going to win. Is there like a conscious decision to have a certain mentality? Do you try to flip the switch at some point?
Like I'd say we didn't come into the game knowing we were gonna have so much emotion, so it's kind of like in the moment. When we would play, when we play DRX, every round we kind of got to grind out, and especially because they're yelling at us too, we kind of got to do it back to them.
Yeah.
Or else we're just, we're the beta. So yeah, we got to do what we got to do.
I want to follow up too, because there was a moment that we caught on comms where Victor, you were saying, "Jean, don't punch me, don't punch me." What was going on there? What was happening?
I don't remember exactly what the round that happened before, but I just remember he was so locked in, and we had to grind out this round. I think we were up a lot or something, and then they're coming back on us, and then we finally got around our way, and then John was just so locked in. I'm looking at him like, and he's like, and then when he comes to fist bump me, he just punched me so hard. I was like, John, please don't punch me, man.
that's how you know.
And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Vic. I'm so sorry, Vic.
Locked into the game.
Do you ever find yourself getting carried away sometimes by those big emotions in the games? Like you go for a peak where you're feeling it and it just doesn't quite work. Those kind of things.
So. FNS and Crashy sit next to me, and they tell me like whenever I sometimes in big matches when I fist bump them, I'm just shaking because like the caffeine's running through me. I was like, and then like Vic is shaking, and they calm, like at the freeze time, like Vic is shaking right now. It's so funny. So yeah.
I wanna dive in a little bit on you guys staying on top, because you guys are the defending champions. You're coming off the back of Reykjavik. You've said in numerous interviews. I mean, I feel like we've interviewed your team the most at this event so far. I mean, you guys you play in the most matches. You're winning a lot of them as well, and what is it like for you guys in terms of your preparation? I know you focus on one game at a time, but what is that kind of workload like? Because as well, one of the things that you guys have spoke about as well is it's been tough to kind of staying innovating, staying in front of the meta all the time.
I think I'd give a lot of credit to my coach for sure. He makes sure we stay on top of things and we don't kind of fall behind. He kind of knows when people are gonna anti-strat us, so we kind of like work around it and like how we can kind of one-up their move. Beat them in chess, I guess. And yeah, I mean, a lot of props to him and a lot of props to all of us for changing up our playstyles all the time. I feel like we're really good at adapting as well. So in game, it's always important. And yeah.
I have to give a lot of credit to Chet. Not just that, but like right before games, he always tells specific players, for example, myself, like Vic, you need to do this game, or play here this game, or Jake, you need to play here this game, you need to op here this game, they don't drone here, or they don't use their prowler here.
Really specific stuff.
Yeah, so it's a lot of credit to him.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. All of your matches have been hyper entertaining so far. I'm sure that's going to continue. Good luck to you in your rest of your games. Thank you for joining us in the interview, and we'll send it back over.
Yeah, always interesting to hear, from OPTIC Gaming, Jess. I mean, this is a team that has had a lot of pressure on them up until this point, but it seems like, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, but not these guys. They are always there. They're there to deal with the hard moments, and they have this tournament.
I mean, I've been in TAC FPS for however many years now, and I put a lot of respect on the fact that Marv called it, chess FPS, because that's what it is. Some of the best teams will play, some of the smartest play, so I love that.
Yeah, it's caught me off guard as well. They aim to me the chill zone. I didn't realize they were chill like that.
They got ice in the veins, remember? It's
just,
ice in the
I
veins.
mean, I didn't say much in the email. I was just like, all right, guys. I mean, Josh was taking it away. I had an easy job that day. I'm telling you.
It's a good time. It's a good vibe. I mean, that's all I have to do. I just sit here, you know, and like
and look great.
And look great. And make sure you vote for me in the poll. And also do things like this. We have to take a quick commercial break. Vote for me. Sure, why not? We're going to have more from Copenhagen right after this. Don't go anywhere and let everyone know on Twitter how good I look. Thank you so much, guys.
I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never
Welcome back. It's time to get the results of today's poll question. Unfortunately, I'm not on it, but oh, hey, listen to that. We got some people in the building. Earlier, we asked you guys which team is going to go all the way to win Masters Copenhagen. And the results are in. Let's go ahead and see who wins today's poll. I'm genuinely curious. And PRX. The people have spoken, Brennan.
It's not just paper girl, it's not just paper boy, it's paper audience, it's paper viewers.
The paper people.
The paper people. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man. Thoughts on that, Brent?
I mean, understandable. They're an incredibly fun team to watch. These guys are on fire right now. I mean, how can you not like this team?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I didn't even look at the rest of the poll. I was so fixated on PRX.
That's it. It is what it is, baby.
All right, well, let's go ahead and do it. That does it for our pre-show. I'm going to hand things over to you, Yinsu, to get the day started. But it's our final four. And today, one team moves to the finals. One has to give up the dream. Valorant.
Katanya sih banyak yang nonton ya VCT kali ini. Maksudnya yang nonton secara langsung di Go yang ada di Copenhagen gitu.
No one will knock us off the throne. The green wall's only getting bigger.
Fnatic had to fight for every inch of that series.
You're starting to see the glimpses of the beast that is FPX.
A battle between the two best teams of EMEA would be a huge fight.
This team just has a date with destiny.
The true idols have arrived.
FPX would feel like deja vu, to be honest, but we're ready for round 5. We played against them already 4 times. Because it's LAN, it's not online, it's gonna be other game, especially again in front of crowd. Teams shouldn't be afraid. That's a dream for me, to play in front of that crowd. So I'm going to embrace it, I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can.
What a bracket this is going to be.
Every time we met each other again with FPX, they brought something new, they brought some new ideas, and we were able to adapt on the fly. So if we can keep doing that, I believe we will win. If we will beat Fnatic, we're gonna be like top 1 team, it's surely. Masters 2 is the time for Fnatic to win a trophy.
PRX is very confident in their own game plan, but I think every team has tells. Every single team has something that you can prepare it. So yeah, I'm going to try to find holes in that.
Forsaken and Jing are easily the strongest duo in this tournament.
We won the last championship, so yes, I think Ye and Victor have a chance to stop them. We're just very good at understanding that the game isn't over till the series is over.
Nah, we're never ever gonna be in that mindset of already seeing us lift the trophy. It's always just one game at a time.
You gotta keep winning. That's the only other option. There is no other option. It's just you have to keep winning, and that's really it.
If my walkouts doesn't make you laugh, I'm gonna show you how to have fun in game. We are the chaos.
I heard someone was looking for a paper girl.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I think I've got a little minority on the side of the desk here. That's
Outnumber
okay.
him with the bias now for PRX.
Yeah.
Comes to this first.
Yeah, we're paper pals. We're paper pals on the desk. And I gotta say though, Ben Kai there, if his walkout doesn't impress people, what are they gonna do on the server is, I feel like that sums up that entire team.
It's one super serious team against a really fun, playful team, and it's just two styles, both in personality and just gameplay as well. I'm so incredibly excited.
Yeah, these guys, they bring the chaos every single time. I am so stoked to get this match started. Honestly, these games are gonna be absolutely fire.
Yeah, you guys just saw an absolute banger of an opening tease today. We always deliver with the hype, but we have something pretty special for you as well. That is going to send our hype off the charts. It's time to reveal the championship stage here at Masters Copenhagen. Even. Here we go.
Fnatic. FPS. OPTIC. PRX.
We have some paper pals in the venue today. Let's go. How nice is that stage, though?
It is unreal,
Wow.
honestly. They do such a good job every single time. I was getting chills, man, when it was lead it in. I mean, I was watching them set it up partially as well, so I got to kind of spoil it for me a little bit. But even still, like, seeing it all come together now as well, it just makes it all the more real that we're watching the finale of this tournament, really, the final 4 teams.
I can't even believe it. I mean, the way the shockwaves with the bass and everything hit, I had huge goosebumps everywhere. So I'm going to need to just chill out a little bit as we settle into this match, because I tell you what, there was a lot of screaming when a certain team came up on the screen there. So yeah, I think we have a lot to talk about.
I might have swung the bias a little bit.
A little
when
bit,
the Paper X
Yinsu.
logo came up. But who also would have known that these 4 teams would be the ones to make it this far as well?
Yeah, it's quite unexpected, isn't it? To a degree. I mean, there's been so... But the thing is, every time we get to a global stage as well, every time it feels like each iteration off of the next, it gets more and more competitive every single time. We've kind of like tossed away the term minor regions, because I feel like at this point, yes, you have
one-team regions. But honestly, those one teams, they can bring it to the top of any other region
Let's
at
go,
any
Brad.
given time.
Of course, OPTIC, they are the defending champions here. And let's honing a little bit on the map select for this matchup and see which 3 maps we're going to be going to. Both of these teams, it's going to be a lot of fun for us to watch here today. But of course, you guys have mentioned already the chaos. PRX, they thrive in it. My question to you is, do OPTIC dare to leave Bind open? Do they
We
dare?
discussed this a little bit. Brett and I sat here and I said, you know what? If they have stuck by Icebox after that little trip and stumble, I think they'll continue to. I think there's something they really didn't like. And there you go. OPTIC will commit to getting rid of Icebox. I don't know why. Because
so
back in the
brave.
day, I loved their Icebox. But they think they can rival PRX on Bind. And that is almost certainly going to be a pick.
It is so brave for them to do this. I mean, and very OPTIC, I think, as well. It really does play into them as a team that they will just leave it open now. But they're going to select Haven as the first map. I think this is quite understandable. PRX, in terms of what they play on this map, most of the time they end up running like a Jet Rainer composition. But they do have a comp that they pull out against Neon comps like what OPTIC like to play.
Yeah.
So when we get into the agent select, I'm going to be incredibly curious as to whether or not we're going to see PRX running that more specialized composition that they're running. But I'm assuming it's going to be the Bind.
It's going to be Bind. It's going to be Bind.
It has to be Bind.
I will put all of my life savings on that PRX. You can't leave Bind open for them and them not to pick it. Remember, Benkai even said, Fnatic are the only team brave enough in this tournament to leave Bind open. OPTIC, they've just done it, Jess. It wouldn't make... Yeah, here we go. It would make sense for them to go there.
You know what? If you want to be the best team in the world, you have to beat some of the best teams on their best maps. I truly believe that no matter the maps, no matter the pool, you have to be the one that comes out the better team on the day. And that is a statement from OPTIC coming into this map, Vito.
It truly is. I mean, I think right now as well, from what I've seen of PRX, they are currently the best Bind team in the world.
Yes.
But I had it in contention with them and Fnatic, and from what I've seen recently of Fnatic, I think I have to hand it to PRX. They just play such a variety of styles, even with that one composition they play. It's not a one-trick pony like it is when, for example, FPX played a Eurocomp on Breeze. It's not one-dimensional in that capacity. They have so much that they throw at it, and now a second round of bans come through. Ascent being taken out by OPTIC is quite interesting.
We're going to Fracture, surely.
We have to
going
be.
to Fracture.
You got to think about a map that's a nice middle ground for both of these teams. If I had to put money on it, Fracture would be it. I like what I see from both of them, and in fact, some of the impressiveness I've seen from OPTIC on the map as well, especially when we're talking about Neon and the likes. That's something I want to see come back should we get to the third map. If Fracture happens to be it, and Breeze coming out of the pool, that solidifies it.
Yeah, it's going to be our third final map that's floated through. I think this is an interesting one for OPTIC as well, because they've been given a bit of an option of what they wanted to play and what they lean towards. And Fracture has been a shaky map as of recently over the course of this tournament. Now, historically, it's been one of their best maps, but recently, I mean, I'm going off the recency bias all the way, because it's the only thing I can really go off of. And it has been a bit shaky. So how they're going to be adjusting and how they're going to be keeping up, I think, with PRX is going to be interesting if it gets to that point in this match.
I mean, we talk about pick your poison. In the past, when the team go up against PRX, we're like, we're going to see either Bind or Fracture. You cannot let them have both. But OPTIC, Jess, they are going to let them have both.
I have said this only once in this tournament thus far, but if you take a risk of this level and you win that matchup, you have deserved to win through and through. So if OPTIC do come out the victors of this particular matchup, they have done everything and more that is necessity to get to the finals, and I think that that is a statement in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly that the thing is, OPTIC is so good when it comes to rematches against opponents that they might just want to go for the low bracket anyway. They have a ridiculous record when it comes to rematching teams. And I mean, it feels like the bans don't even affect them. They just seem to level up. But this match right here is going to be two teams that have done tremendous amounts of prep work for each other. They're going to be ready for each other, I hope, as well, because with the maps that we're seeing, if it's going to be OPTIC thinking that they can counteract that second map of Bind and the Eurocomps that might get played, we're going to have a really intriguing series on our hands.
They're a defending champion for a reason, Bren. We're going to take a quick break here, but when we return, we're going to be bringing out PRX and OPTIC to the stage. Stick with us.
I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option. And you cannot stop it. You cannot stop it.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time to bring out PRX and OPTIC and give them a warm welcome to the Copenhagen stage.
Crashes. Jing. Victor. Forsaken. Finesse. Divine. Yay. Mind freak. Marv. Benkai. Chet. Alex.
Well, this is the defending champions versus the challengers. Both of them, they proved themselves already here in Copenhagen. But the question is, can they do this in front of that crowd?
Yes, the crowd is such a factor that we haven't been taken into account as much now. I think they're on the side of Benkai now. This guy is just... I've been waiting for this moment for quite some time. He's always been coming out with a funny walkouts.
The big thing as well is that these players just set history. They're the first players to ever walk out in front of a crowd in Valorant Esports Masters history, and that is something they can walk away with pride regardless of the outcome of this match. I'm excited for them, but there's two completely different stories to tell here, as you said, Yinsu. It's the defending champions, it's one who want to take that throne, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
I will say that a lot of people were confused as to why Benkai wore a T-Rex onesie last time. I just want to clarify. PRX.
Oh, right. They got like T-Rex fossils. They got fossils on the jersey.
Nearly
like
as
the pattern of it.
Yeah, nearly as old as Golden Boy, I think. Fossils up there. He's just catching strays. Yeah, but Jess, you said that you posed a great question here. PRX, they are the challengers. OPTIC, they've done this before. All of these players have played in front of a crowd before. They have experience. You know, FNS, he's not going to be fazed by any of that noise of the fans on PRX. So the question is, can PRX really kind of compete up to all of that experience?
I think Benkai made a statement once that, you know, they operate under a lot of momentum, and when things start to pull away from them, they panic a little bit, and they love having fun. So I hope they continue that fun having, because that's what's really given the momentum to them on a lot of the rounds. That'll be the key thing here. If OPTIC takes an early start, that's where we will see the formidable and the mental strategicness that comes out of PRX.
Absolutely, and I think for PRX as well, this is the furthest the team has really ever made it.
Yeah.
In this upper bracket, they've made it so far now, and it's not an elimination game. It's important to remind people of that. This is the upper finals. So much on the line, don't get me wrong. If you make it all the way, you win this one, you go into the finals, which is a big deal. You get extra bans. I mean, in terms of the boons that you're blessed with when you head into that, it is an enormous factor to consider. But these guys, I think they can perform without that pressure on their shoulders. They made it so far in this tournament while still playing a stellar game and a leveled up game as well over the course of it.
But also, Jing's not here. Jing did not get to do the crowd walk. He's going to be playing from the hotel. And at this point, Brent, he is their star player. Do you think that's going to affect the team at all?
There's a possibility, but honestly, I thought it might have affected them prior to it. A lot of these guys were playing from the hotel prior. It seemed to not affect them there. They were still playing even with two of them on the stage. So I think moving forwards, these guys, they're ready for this. They're ready for this challenge that's approaching them right now, which is OPTIC Gaming, the defending champion.
We're into the Prime Gaming agent select here, and it looks like PRX have opted to run the Astra Raze Fate Comp, which they've done before, and they've gone with the Jet Reyna.
Yeah, this is something that Brendan's already pointed out, and I rightfully agree with him. You're going up against the Neon, that is the tip of the spear. How do you blow up the tip of the spear? You gotta slow that baby down.
Absolutely. This comp is very good at slowing down the kind of neon composition that OPTIC like to play. It's one of the other comps that PRX said, like you guys mentioned, like they sometimes pull out the Reyna and the Jet, but they usually do that against teams that are trying to match them with Jet-based compositions. This time, it's all about trying to slow down this composition that OPTIC have ran time and time again.
I also want to keep everyone to keep an eye on the controllers, because we have Marved versus Mindfreak here. The two big M's of the tournament.
I love M&Ms personally. I know you guys see me, I'm pumping the M&Ms, but that's an M&M I can definitely sink my teeth into. Marved, Mindfreak. I said Marved is one of the best players in the world, but Mindfreak, when it comes to controller players, she's on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. These guys are so talented on either side. It's going to be interesting to see how OPTIC are going to be performing as well when they are being, I'm not going to say directly counter-comped, because I've got questions about how PRX are going to be performing with this composition that they don't run as often on Haven.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be underprepared, but in terms of just the official experience, they played a Jet Reyna a lot more than they do this specific composition that they are playing, and there's poor Jing, you know, he's going to be playing from the hotel room, but like I said
he's going to drop 30.
He might, honestly, he might
like the quietness of it. He'd be like, you know, I love this. I can just sit here, I can just boom back in, I do all of my things I need to. But to quell your sort of fears here, Brent, the 3 times that they have run this composition, they've won every single time. I know it's regionally, I know they are the kings of their region, but maybe the PRX fans can feel a little bit more rest assured that there has been success with this composition.
I think the important thing here is if you look at the rest of the maps we're going to, Brent, OPTIC, they have to win here. They have to.
They have to.
I would completely agree with that. I think if you go into bind as well, PRX should be favored there. And now I don't know what that notebook's saying. I mean, that guy's just revealing his notes, I think. Alex is just absolutely posturing.
Jing, go kill. Yeah, take and go kill.
I mean, these guys, they have so much whimsy about them. I love watching this team, but this Haven map is going to be, I think, a big indicator of which direction the series is going to go overall.
Well, the players are in the server, and it's time to throw this over to your casters for today. Give a warm welcome to Doug and Bola.
Thank you so much, Insu, for the first time in VCT International history, Copenhagen. You look beautiful tonight. Bola, we've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
780 days since the game has been released, and this is what we all were waiting for, a crowd match finally.
Let's go, PRX.
Absolutely.
You counted. I know you counted. Every single one of those days you counted. PRX starting off on the attack. We've talked about their pace. We talked about their tempo. But look at that, Bola. It's actually OPTIC who's taking space initially.
Very fast up Elan, but still the same thing for PRX, and it's a shot from Ye. Almost gets to it, he does.
First blood, second blood going in favor of the North American World Champions. But PRX able to counter back, numbers in favor of the green wall. Spike sitting down too long as Jing tries to reposition, tries to take the space and get the spike back down.
You heard Benkai say, we are chaos, and these are the types of moments they really like, where they can work the map, spread deep, but right now it's a tall task.
The thing is, you have two options against Chaos. You can try to weather you, or you can fight Chaos with Chaos, and that's exactly what OPTIC is doing. Victor already gets another. Jing is left to roam, and he's not going to be around for long. OPTIC get the first round.
And PRX has been phenomenal in pistol rounds this tournament so far. They've won 7 of 8.
And those stats any day of the week.
Yeah, OPTIC immediately clapping back at that. And they've been working on these pistol rounds. They've been working on the rounds that they've been struggling with, the non-gun rounds. And this tournament's definitely been a change. And that's what you need if you want to be repeat champs.
Again, history on the line here for both teams as OPTIC tries to be the first team ever to lift back-to-back trophies, but they have to get past the chaos personified that is PRX. No force here for them. It seems like they're going light.
Attempt there. And Ye's got the judge locking down Garage.
Great shot out from Forsaken. And he's gonna get a shot in a second, and he delivers.
On the pistol round, or the eco round for them too. This is crazy, but look in the corner. Finesse is still here, and they're not able to trade him off with the smoke from Marved as well. He could get out of the sight and maybe make this manageable.
Yay actually making a really good timing here as he's crept into window. They're walking right into him. He gets 2 with the judge. Not able to get the third, but Benkai weak.
And they flip this around, but the guns now. If Benkai can get in a great position, he's still got the wall as well. It's only Spectres on the other side. Ding! A little too much space taken.
Benkai gets the wall up, gets the spike down, and now with that same judge, it caused problems before. Try taking some space. Varv extinguishes it. He's gonna get the defuse. It was dicey, but OPTIC get the second ball.
That was more than dicey, Doug. Those first 2 shots from Forsaken were so crispy. But thankfully, Finesse and Marv, they clean it up. And we do get a conversion on the anti-eco, which in the past, it hasn't been great for OPTIC. This tournament, it has been better, like I just said. And we talk about the comps for a second as well. The Des was talking about this was maybe a counter pick, and I would tend to agree because PRX, typically they run the Reyna, they run the double duelist essentially on this map, and we saw that at Masters Reykjavik. But whenever they go up against Neon Comp, they actually run a Sage. They slow it down.
Jing trying to go fast. I'm pretty sure he hit his head on the wall there at the very top.
Still got the jump though.
Bomb buddy out.
He just wants to get all the way in that position to force them off the long, force any trap plays off. As well, and that Boombot does just that.
Yay with another great shot.
Oh, he's got the tour de force.
He's in trouble. He's got the tour de force, and you're right, it's up close and personal. He's able to land it first. The second just around the corner. No challenge coming through yet. As Devi backs up, slows the round down. Spike still sitting on A long.
And both Forsaken and Jing gone.
Mind Freak is taking so much space across the middle of the map.
He's been insane in moments like this. Super clutch. And that's exactly why he finds the gaps and still going to abuse it. They're not necessarily committing off of this Devi and Mind Freak.
Ness has some utility, but not enough to necessarily delay the plant, so Devi will get it down, and now it's a post-plant situation. The thing is, OPTIC have, in some ways, surrounded them. They're going to be able to approach us from multiple areas.
But also look at the way PRX is playing. All the way towards the left side, clearing the C-Link.
Yeah.
So they're not really getting surrounded like it looks like from OPTIC's perspective.
The alarm bot is there from Ye. Make sure they don't push out. And Garage Finesse dropping some of their early utility. Devi holding this angle. Spike ticking away. OPTIC's gonna have to go fast. Ye's on the tap. Devi gets the first kill. A 2v2 here. Quickly turns into 2v1. Marv, he's so good in these situations, but can he pull it off? Can he pull it off? He's got it down to 1v1. The spam across, he's got to get on it. He's gonna challenge. He's got to challenge. Devi stops it.
And that's a 2v4 for PRX to cancel the bonus from OPTIC. And Ye even started off with the opening kill, grabbed the tour de force, shut down the hit on A. And that exactly was the situation OPTIC wanted to go through at the beginning of the round, but Mind Freak is phenomenal. The desk touched on it. This guy is playing at an absurd level. For what we saw at his international debut, nowhere near that level. He is way above it.
And early aggression into A. Victor's already worked his way half down long. It seems like PRX want to go to C. If he can make it the timing, he does. And look at Marv, he's going pushing. There's someone on the other side of the smoke. Jin gets him too.
And it's clean. OPTIC just does not expect him to be so far forward without using much. There was a couple of smokes in garage, and Forsaken just finds Ye's TP, and they force that out of him.
Spike planted.
In other parts of the map, this is definitely going to be a save for OPTIC.
It's toughest too. They shouldn't be able to save the op that they brought into the round. Seems like it may just be out of reach.
And I think already, PRX is hitting OPTIC with so much out of the prep work that would have been expected from OPTIC coming into this, right? They know they have these two comps. They know they play the double duelist. That one's aggressive. The PRX comp here, though, looks on the surface to be slow, to be controlled. Wait a second. Wait a second, Doug. Neon is all the way in.
No way.
Oh my goodness.
No way.
There's just not enough time, but such a cool attempt from Victor.
That'll make you think about it. You don't leave the spike again, not like that.
Those 2 opening kills from PRX, though, definitely not something OPTIC expected, and they're going to have to try to figure out a way to stop it. Finesse said, every team has tells, but for the most of teams who play PRX, they're not able to find them, at least on the international stage. The only team who really worked them was Zeta, and now it's still a very close game, so it's going to be difficult no matter what. OPTIC here, a very light buy, obviously the 2 weapons they saved.
Marv with that Marshall not finding any value. And off of that, PRX are able to waltz their way into C for free. And you've got Victor, who may hit a timing. He's got the rifle, but it seems like My Freak is waiting for it just on the other side of the box. Yep, Victor falls.
And there's no way in. The wall in garage, the slow with the C's on spawn as well. There was an attempt from from Crashes that looked kind of nice, the spam through the smoke as they walked up C long. There's a nice shot from Ye.
Flash may net him another. Yeah, Forsaken still stunned up, somehow still gets that kill.
I mean, he's stunned and he's jumping up the stairs. That is just ridiculous, but exactly what you expect.
It's PRX. That's the thing you were saying too earlier, but you know, you mentioned Finesse's quote about how every team has tells. The tricky thing about PRX is you may know their tells, and it still may not matter.
They pivot so much, man. Every round they come in with a plan, but the plan is almost to adapt.
Yeah.
And that's such a nice dichotomy. Finesse, who loves to play with the information, PRX, who love to play with the information that they force from the other team. But then from there, it's a mind game all the way.
Good time to check in on a few ultimates. PRX has 3 of 5. Divine Jing also dangerously close to having theirs. While you've got a pseudo-similar situation on the side of OPTIC and Victor, Finesse. Also full guns, full armor on the side of OPTIC.
But no op for Ye.
Yeah.
And that is such a key for him. No way. They already smoked this off early. The trip is too far away. Forsaken is deep in B right now. And once again, Ye is caught.
So you can just press. They don't know. Forsaken behind enemy lines. How long does this trap lay in wait?
Here. The optimal thing here would definitely be to maybe poke at A, get Ye to rotate.
How?
And the Prowler doesn't spot it.
I mean, it touched him.
He's all the way through A-Link.
OPTIC maybe in some trouble here, but Victor is able to take care of one. Forsaken on the swing. Now they know there's someone behind enemy lines. The leader for OPTIC down. Number still in favor of PRX as the spike makes its way through. The Crashies tries to get it back. No.
40 seconds. Ye is almost in the sight right now. I don't think they know.
Oh, Mindfreak turned away at just the wrong time. The Nightfall comes through. Marved again in a clutch situation. 1v2 against Divine and Forsaken.
They both went hell. This is so good.
Not spotted. But he has no idea.
Cover going out. They heard the TP, so he's expecting them to think he's up top.
Yeah. Brutal situation there for Marved. But man, well played for PRX.
That was so well played. There was an opportunity there though. Crashies, who was stuck A long, and then Ye walking out as well, but one flank was better than the other. If that flash connected for Ye from Marved, maybe there was an opportunity, but Forsaken rips them apart. And that was so fast. Again, they're immediately spotting that trip at the top of B, placing really, really far back, so you can smoke it off like you're gonna do a pop into B and dodge it entirely.
Maybe a little something fast coming out of OPTIC down C long. That's exactly it. There's a paranoia. The dash goes through. Ult online for Victor, but there's no one home.
They're gonna keep pushing though, and they have players watching from top window.
He's gotta find value. Man, that's so far away. How does he still get a kill?
He's got himself in an interesting spot. The Prowler's so good.
Mess has a rolling thunder, but he's so far away. Rez comes through. As PRX trying to weather the chaos that's thrown their way, and they find themselves with the numbers advantage yet again.
And that was a wall bang from Benkai too. But What do they expect? Another push. This one from A Lobby. The trip is down, so there's no way they know.
Flankers getting flanked upon flanks. Weapon upgraded for Crashies as he continues his voyage.
Finesse has a Rolling Thunder. He could definitely invest it here.
Is he going to use it? Steps right up. Early bit of utility initially, and Crashies is there. He's been spotted. Devi taking first. The flash swings through. Finesse can't get in on the action quickly enough, and he has nothing but a Sheriff. How do they approach this? The spike goes down. It seems like Crashies is going to try to reposition. Perhaps they play off that Rolling Thunder once the wall goes down.
Devi is just shoulder peeking long, so he knows Crashies are repositioned at this point.
Gun gives Crashies away. He's so weak. Even off the flash, he's not able to find anything. Mind Freak playing behind the wall. Benkai cleans it up. PRX get to 5.
And that's 5 in a row. 5 in a row for PRX, where it really doesn't feel like OPTIC, at least in that round. That was an eco. They go for their own aggression, but it gets shut down. Good attempts from Marv to TP in, but the reaction from PRX every time, Doug, is so good. In spawn there, Devi with the double Prowler to shut down Marv. It's so hard to deal with when those reactions are so good to your initial plan that should catch people off guard.
And the economy on the side of OPTIC has felt sus at best for the entire half. I think they've had, what, 2 gun
2 saves
rounds?
so far. Yeah, 2 saves so far.
Certainly not where they want to be. You see OPTIC call a timeout as they try to regain control on the situation. Again, opener in a best of 3. History on the line for both of these teams. And man, PRX, they look entirely unfazed.
Yeah. And it's interesting for them to go to Haven. It's actually very difficult to deal with this veto entirely if you're OPTIC. But Haven is the map that they were straying away from at the beginning of the tournament because of their losses in NA, because of their loss to XSET. And it was very similar situations on their first half defensively, struggling. And right now, definitely looking the same type of way, unless OPTIC right here, out of the timeout, which they've been great at, especially in playoffs. But it has to start here.
Well, you're going to have EA with the tour de force and then guns the rest of the way. You're absolutely right. It has to start here, Abala. You're going to have to deal with 3 ultimates on the side of PRX 2, including Jinx Showstopper.
Victor loves to go for these early info peaks with the speed that he gets from the high gear.
You want to play? Let's play.
But he doesn't even, so that does speak. Oh, what is that? The satchel up! That's against Ye! What an attempt!
You cheeky son of a gun. Now they understand there's no aggression coming down A. They're going to drop the Cosmic Divide and turn their attention towards C. Gravity Well is going to keep Marv to bay, at least for now.
Perfect nade.
Nothing found the paranoia to delay. You see the relay bolts coming through online as well as Marv. Weak, but still back sight.
Good reaction so far from OPTIC to the number of shenanigans here. They're just putting the Cosmic Divide down to find if they challenge, and a lot of teams will. But OPTIC decide not to, and PRX now has wasted a lot of utility. The Seize is gone, the nade is gone, a slow is gone. So they've got to rely on gunfights.
The thing is, they don't have a ton of time either.
And while this Prowler's going A long right now, OPTIC is super comfortable. They've got the trademark down short and Ye holding an off angle long. So they're not worried about it, and that's why they stack this site.
Jing dashing his way forward. The Showstopper's not going to find any value, but he swings around. He gets the kill with the Vandal instead. There's the Rolling Thunder that we've been waiting for. They're going to try to take the space back. The thing is, with 15 seconds left, they don't have time for a plan B. They have to go forward. And the green wall does not relent. OPTIC get to 3.
That's out of the timeout again for OPTIC. They're so good in those situations, and that was a great adjustment. And they also got hit with that ridiculous Jink boost right here. Doesn't find Ye. That could have changed everything because the setup was hinging on him. That short trademark and then the stack because of it is wonderful stuff. The response is going to be definitely, let's challenge this setup that OPTIC is putting on. But they should know that there was 2 beginning of the round.
Victor spotting that haunt early on. Roomba clearing out garage. As you see the barrage of bullets follow shortly after. And there it is. Opener again in favor of Jing.
Round after round, they're finding this. A flash for Victor. And Jing wants to punish!
He's insane. He's actually insane. Victor stops it. You have an operator in the hands of Ye. Forsaken has one too.
He smells Ye.
Ah, does he?
He was just aiming there.
He might not. He didn't. Divide did. Victor gets the kill. Op still in play for Ye. Nothing found yet. Benkai has worked his way up short. The wall goes up again. Is Benkai trying to get the high ground? He's used by Ye. He's going to land the shot. He's going to get the kill. Not able to get the second to 1v1. Crashies. Divide.
Spike planted.
Flash. Crashy swinging around the corner. He hasn't gotten the timing. Just on the other side, he doesn't land the shot, and Divide turns on him.
No way. And that's crushing. He definitely had the shot. And I was just saying at the beginning of the round to myself, Victor's starting to go for these peaks. They're starting to go for those flash aggressions in middle. So the confidence was building after the round win, but that is, he's gonna be hating himself. And he's great in those situations. Crash is one of the best 1v1 players we have in NA.
It's freaking Crashes. Yeah.
There.
Again, aggression here for OPTIC, but low buy.
Finesse has a Guardian on A, and he's the one who's going to be challenged. You see the utility already coming through the gravity well, the slow roar, now the nightfall. Perhaps the melee bolts can delay just a tad. Forsaken has already worked his way around. And once again, yeah, it was actually Ye who was still on the side, but Forsaken cleans him up. Forsaken gets 3. 15 HP here too. Finesse still up in heaven. Oh, but he's been spotted. He's been had.
Spam.
Manages to preserve his life, at least for the time being.
But they've got nothing.
One enemy remaining.
Forsaken's working his way towards the ace. Oh, what a beautiful sound. What a beautiful sound. What can Marv find with the shorty? He's gonna 1v5 this thing. What do you think? No, Forsaken gets the ace.
Our first ever global crowd ace. And the paper people are loving it. These first shots clean. OPTIC trying to rush the site. And the spray transfer good from Forsaken. He's up at 14-6 now with that round.
I mean, they fed it to him on a silver platter too. What a good guy. Guns back in the hands of OPTIC. You see on the timeline, other than round 8, it's been all PRX. OPTIC feel like they're hemorrhaging.
Double satchel up, or just the single satchel.
Is there a challenge?
Oh, that one's shorter, so I don't actually think Jing could get the angle. But it also gives ideas of him hiding there with no information from OPTIC where he peeks later.
Crashies use the Trailblazer there to clear out long, see if anyone was coming. And now off the smoke, perhaps they can pop flash if they feel any sort of threat.
Great
That's
stun.
exactly what they do.
They could follow up with a flash with Victor stuns, but they don't.
Yay with the op. No challenge yet.
Yeah, his angles are just so solid. He's up to old levels of first kill success, but so far this game, he's fragging. But not necessarily when he gets the op in his hands. And they're pivoting again. Dude, another round where Forsaken is deep in the site before any contact has been made.
They have no idea! Forsaken once again gets behind enemy lines. Crashies this time waiting for it. Takes his ear off like Van Gogh. Forsaken no longer around. Do they even try it? I mean, what do they do?
Swapping the ops around. Ye's got the Vandal now.
And it's Marved with the op.
But this slow makes it so difficult, and there's a star there to turn into a grab well as well.
Paranoia.
With the nade.
Well set up. Absolutely right. And it's all about delay. We've talked about what this composition was built for. It is delay, but can you delay long enough? Can you keep OPTIC back? Benkai in so much trouble. In a 1v2, and he's
slow.
Into a 1v1. Mind Freak's so weak. He gets it to half, pulls off, swings, land the shots as Ye gets 4, but he's not gonna have enough time.
And as we get
Last round before the switch.
to the dying breaths of this half, OPTIC is in such a massive deficit. A good attempt from Ye, but surely
This is less than ideal.
they can't let Forsaken walk into the site.
Oh, he didn't even get it to half there. That was so close.
Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, guys. Nice.
Here.
The vibe's good all around for PRX as they're flirting with a 9-3 half.
You want to
Kings
play?
of the world.
Let's play.
Your Tour de Force come through. Spotty buy for OPTIC. That seems to be okay. Victor gets the first with the Guardian. Ye gets the second.
He just walled down mid, spam the first, and then continue with the aggression. But this, again, is where PRX is good at. Nobody's playing on site, but they have the utility to really challenge fast.
Forsaken so far away, though. He's not behind enemy lines. He hasn't gotten into a troublesome spot. Jing getting the spike down. Note again, the light buy for OPTIC. Finesse has a Spectre. Is it gonna matter? Jing goes forward. The Prowler paves the way. The showstopper there. No kills yet.
Hello?
Do they not expect him there? They snap. Jing 3 HP. Finesse gets it. Ye does 2. Divide in a 1v3 to close out the half. Almost gets 2 there. He does manage to get the first. Couple members weak. No, not like this. Divide, not like this! The Red Bull clutches. He gets 4 to close out the half. Unreal.
Divide is a monster in these low man situations. The 2 versus 4 earlier. And then this here, a backbreaker as the half ends. Gotta watch this again.
Goodbye. One enemy
And they
remaining.
were all so low. Finesse just a classic too.
We talk about Forsaken. We talk about Benkai, Jing, but Devi is having himself a day. Let's head down to the desk, see what they think about that.
Wow, what a half of Valorant that is. Devi, in the end, they're clutching out. But I do want to talk about Ye versus Forsaken. I think a lot of eyes were on both of these guys. And they're just showing up, going back and forth, Bram, back and forth between them.
2 heavy hitters going at it in this match right now. And honestly, it hasn't really, I'm not going to say it hasn't been a difference maker, but it hasn't been the primary factor for which PRX have been winning a lot of these rounds. But it's just been so cool to watch 2 of these players going at it, man. I mean, look at the amount that Ye is putting up here. 17 kills in the half versus Forsaken on 50.
I mean, if you look at the round differential as well, you just can't even expect that Ye is trying his best. He's got the backpack on. He knows as a chamber main what it is his role is to do on this map. And they are just battering him, even though he's putting up such huge numbers. Forsaken on the other side, though, how is he behind enemy lines every time I look at the minimap?
And this is what you got to watch out for with PRX. If there are holes in your defensive protocol, they are going to be exploiting it all the time. Forsaken was getting so much value on these lurks in the mid-rounding, finding openings, getting the first kills for his team, and it sets up PRX for these 4v5 post-plans every single time, of which they are always favored. Their post-plan positioning is so good and so clean the way they play crosses with each other.
It's funny you talk about post-plan because there's another guy I got to give a little bit of a nod to, other than Devi's perfect clutch there, Mind Freak, the flank control that he has as a solo player. OPTIC are putting multiple members on this, and Mind Freak is weathering that storm. It's an unbelievable feat.
Yeah, and I gotta say, you move into the next half for OPTIC, the things that were going wrong for you, at this point, you know, Forsaken's not gonna be lurking on the defense side.
Sure.
Well,
right, I say that,
They're gonna push.
You might end up seeing it, but even still, it's not stuff that you can take from that first half of what to adjust into the next one.
Absolutely.
Because the sides are swapping around, and they're gonna be playing this more defensive side of comp. How OPTIC deal with this is gonna be super intriguing, because if they end up losing this map, the rest of the series might be looking incredibly one-sided.
Gotta remember, OPTIC's map pick, as you said, if they lose it, there are big questions to be had.
Yeah, we have a quick tech pause here. Something is going on the side of PRX. We're going to try and sort that out as quickly as we can. But I got to say, how uncharacteristic is this of OPTIC to be losing those clutches? They lost a 3v1.
Right.
When was the last time we seen OPTIC in that position?
Yeah, they've just been a little bit sloppy, I think, when it comes to these retakes. It's clear that that's their game plan. They're often playing off-site for the retake situations, but you can't do that against this composition, this setup. If you're giving them the opportunity to set up 3 Sage walls and block
block off one avenue for it, it makes the retake, the fast, bursty retake with the flashes, so much harder to play for. And that's what this comp wants from OPTIC. I feel like they should have been fighting way earlier for map control and fighting them before they let them set up in the post plants in the first place. But they were really struggling to keep a tight-knit defensive protocol, I think, and not let those lurks come through.
I will give OPTIC the benefit of the doubt here, is that if you look over their Haven over this, and of course Haven as a map just being one of those maps that you know is going to have a bit of attacking sidedness. I looked over at what they've performed so far in Copenhagen. They've won 83% of their attacking rounds and a mere 40% of their defensive rounds on this map. So if there is a half for them to come back on, this is one of their strongest attacking maps. This is something they can bring back. It is not outwardly for them to be able to do so.
But also Victor, he's going to have to show up on the attack side, Bren. I know it's been a loss so far, but I think if they want a chance in this, he's got to do something here.
Yeah, it's a player that we haven't really mentioned that much as well in the pre-show, but honestly, a lot of OPTIC's wins are incredibly contingent on that guy playing really well. Victor having a good game on the Neon or the Jet, whatever they're putting him on these days, it is honestly so important for them that he does end up having a good moment. And in the middle portion of this first half, you did see those big moments. You saw the 3Ks coming out. Victor was able to return a lot of the kills and over-aggression and punishing it from PRX. But overall, I mean, he is sitting second in terms of the scoreboard for his team right now as well. He is putting up big numbers, but I don't want to single him out as an individual that needs to, you know, step up, because I think he has been playing well in the first half. It's come down to the more game plan, I think, of how they were adjusting to the way PRX were playing. And now, like I said prior, you've got to switch it up again as you go to the next half.
Yeah, well, the tech issue has been resolved now, and it's time to go into the second half and throw this back to Doug and Baller.
Thank you so much, Sue. Yes, we figured out the tech pause. Bala, OPTIC have been here before. In fact, this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, just last match against PRX. And this time they're on the attack side of Haven, which has not been stellar, although this tournament so far, quite good. And this is why Victor on the Neon has been phenomenal on the entries, at least since playoffs has began. But Forsaken's going walkabouts.
Of course he is. Jing is too. Forsaken opener on the pistol round.
He's immediately out, which gives a false sense of security, and Jing's got the frenzy.
If they try to waterfall out a window here, this may be a problem. And yeah, it just gets destroyed.
Head to head, this guy's been nuts.
And even if Jing doesn't get a kill here, he should get a lot of info as to what's going on, but he does. He gets a kill, and it's a big one as he spikes down. Victor tries dashing across the screen, but he's not able to get the kill. Mind free. Circadian cadence of clicks as he gets the kill.
Wonderful stuff. And it's calculated from PRX. We talked about the false sense of security. First off, obviously you know Forsaken's gonna go walkabouts, but then he TPs away, and then he also sets up Jing for this ridiculously difficult position to flush out. And he lets a few by too. I mean, so difficult. And there's not even a bomb plant, nothing like that for OPTIC, so this is gonna be a tough road back.
Yeah, this is trouble. You see, even just there, Victor wanting to take that aggressive space, but the sword from Benkai just kind of stops it dead in its tracks. But there's aggression all over the map, man. Look across A main. And there's going to be a fighting garage too. Seconds around. Oh, he doesn't spot the player right next to him. Vanessa is able to beat him up. Benkai.
That hurts.
Yep.
You thought for a moment that there was definitely
yeah, absolutely.
you know, they recover the Bulldog and then the shots don't land. Maybe they can get that kill and get away with 2 players and a Bulldog, but no. So guns invested this time. Marred with the classic light armor. And only at 5 and 12, a lot of people were looking at him with the tournament he's had so far to definitely come alive. But since Ye has been fragging in the playoffs, Brent mentioned it on the desk, he's been ridiculously good in the playoffs. Everybody else around him, while they've still been okay, it hasn't been the same Marv that we saw in the group stage. It was trying to carry them through losses in certain instances against Guild, the opening match. And 11-3 is definitely not where they expected to be on their map pick.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the Diegesis coming into this was OPTIC, or top of the world.
Yeah.
Right? There's nobody who can hold a flame to them.
Yeah.
But they've just been like a swiftly fading shadow since they got into this match.
Yeah. And ever looming too is the shadow of Bind. That's next. And we already have seen Bind once in this tournament for PRX, and we saw it last tournament too, and it shook the world. And it's former divine figures, actually, of OPTIC on Bind. They looked so good on that map, but it's crazy to think that we're going to potentially go in there, and they're not the favorites. That's crazy.
I mean, knowing what's on the other side, knowing what's set up for map 2, and then having been punched in the mouth the way they have so far, mentally, how do you even think about that?
Yep.
That's just wild. See a tech pause coming through. We'll get you all figured out. Get back into the action as soon as possible. But for now, OPTIC, through this tech pause, have to sit and reflect on what's happened. And it's not pleasant.
And even just the first 2 rounds have given them a lot to think about. Forsaken is being so aggressive. And it's the tough thing when you actually have aggression in the form of OPTIC's comp going against the ridiculous pace that PRX is able to put on.
And it's like a 1-2 punch too, man, because they have the pace and they have the speed.
How do you keep up on your side where you're trying to aggress, and then the 2 sides that PRX as well?
Absolutely.
And that is so chaotic to keep track of as a player, as an IGL, as the pacemakers yourself. Meanwhile, PRX are so happy to be in that position. They just have such autonomy among all players. They can do whatever they want, it feels like, at a whim.
Again, if you are just joining us at home, that score is not a typo. It is an 11-3 half map for PRX so far, as it seems like they're trying to put OPTIC away. Looks like we're out of this tech pause again, back into the action as soon as possible. So let's take this moment to reground ourselves on what's going on here. We'll take a look at economy, ultimates, and everything in between. Looks like a spotty buy as far as armor goes, but for OPTIC, they will have full guns, while PRX, they're going to be padding up that bank.
Yeah. The bonus on deck, and they haven't been amazing in these. About the same as OPTIC, but here's the pace. This is going to be a C crunch, actually, all the way through C-Link for Victor. What a smoke for Mind Freak.
Oh, but Benkai slipped through it. Benkai gets 2. He was in garage the whole time. And they'd wrapped around him, and it didn't matter. Now Victor's left in this 1v3. The Prowler in his face. He gets his first, not able to get the second. Victor falls. PRX, map point.
Match point.
And I don't know if OPTIC has a fighting chance for this map. 12-3 is one of the biggest beatings we've seen from OPTIC. 12-4 is where they left off that game against PRX that we were mentioning. And that was an 11-1 half. And their money broken. Their souls broken.
Thank you.
And we've got a Odin on deck too for Devi. And Ye is sitting in the window. If he shows himself, he's dead. TP out, but
not a good start. The round's already been capsized as they're baptized by fire. OPTIC in a world of hurt. 5v3 already.
Also good for PRX, and Forsaken is behind them. He doesn't even need them though. Down sewers, and Victor, the last player left in a 1v4 to try to hold on to that one.
And you know, maybe in other circumstances, perhaps, but with how poor they've been in clutches, it just doesn't matter. 13-3 on the side of PRX to start this series, and if that's not a statement going into Bind Ball, I don't know what is.
Yeah, and they certainly showed up in front of the crowd to start things off. What a game. And what I think is the biggest defeat I think OPTIC has faced on an international stage.
Brutal one.
And it is so difficult from here. The path only gets harder. The Death said this is a must-win map. And obviously, I don't think that they think that way, but boy, oh boy.
But low key, I mean, yeah, kind of.
Do we all think that?
I mean, we had clutches, we had aces, we had everything PRX just in full form here. And for whatever reason, it just seems like OPTIC like to do it the hard way. They start off tournaments very slow. Now they're starting this off very slow. But yeah, obviously, that's not the path you want to take.
Not at all. And you wondered if Bind was going to be in the map pool coming into this, if OPTIC was going to go stray away from Icebox. And I do think that the argument from their perspective was a hard one for them to accept.
Sure.
But everybody, I think, believed that maybe they should take that off. Maybe they should challenge them on Icebox or Breeze instead.
It is very OPTIC, right? To like take that fight head on. We'll see what happens on Bind on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it. Quitting was never an option.
Do you feel the weight of time? Why does it hold so strong? One moment it will all be fine, then nothing will be on my mind. Then suddenly I see a sign that I can't deny.
It is a great day to be a paper girl here in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm back on the desk with Brent and Jess. I know, Jess, you're repping the green war here.
Yeah.
But OPTIC, they have just suffered the biggest defeat they have ever faced here on the international stage. Have you been swayed?
I'm not yet a paper girl. I still wear the green with pride. I still think that there is possibilities. And this isn't a knockout match, so the copium is really strong for me right now.
Yeah.
I respect that.
They've never lost in the rematches.
It's a possibility, so I'm hanging on that. Plus the fact that outside of that, we have to give huge props to PRX. That performance was unworldly. The kind of thing to come into a map they haven't played on this international stage yet and say, that's all right, you can pick it, but we're ready on it is unreal. Plus, a bit of a shout out to the man Divide as well. God, they were all stepping
And this round in particular is one that I wanted to break down because this was honestly just highlighted how well they've done to counter-strat what they were doing. Victor's lurk through mid here, we didn't see many rounds on it, but Mindfreak places smoke and splits up the C site laterally. You often see it the other way around, but they are just more than ready for exactly how OPTIC are going to be playing this one. More than ready to return with the fire, the trades are instantaneous, Benkai's anchoring down, Garage all the time. They came into this map with an incredibly strong game plan of how OPTIC were going to play, and it showed in the scoreline. I mean, 13-3 is absurd.
Yeah, as you guys can see on the MVP powered by AWS there, that Jess, Ye got 18 kills when his team got 3 rounds. How?
Okay, also, of those 3 rounds, one was a pistol, one was a second round, and only one of the other ones, obviously being the third, was a full buy. That conversion rate is, like, if they hadn't won the pistol, they might have walked away 13-1. Think about that possibility. It hurts my heart to talk about this and the fact that we're saying that, but that's an unbelievable scoreline for OPTIC to have.
I kind of like it.
You love it.
When one of the best teams in the world gets stomped, because it shows that, honestly, you've got a fundamental outclass going on.
You're so sadistic,
I am a bit
you
weird
are,
like that.
We got to watch out for you.
Listen, Doug and Bar as well are going to be annoyed at me saying that because I'm sure they wanted a close map. But overall, when you see an absolute dominating performance like that on the stage, this is a team that came ready and here to play. They have counter-stratted, and now we're going into their home territory and bind. I mean, what else are we going to see?
Yeah, before we move on to that, let's check out this Verizon high-speed moment of the match. Of course, Divide. Jess, look at him here.
Did you know he had 100% impact rating? Between the kills, the assists, survival trades, etc. I mean, that's a metric we use to work out whether or not a player is having impacts 100% of the rounds. Every single round in that map, he had an impact, and this was one of his biggest. I didn't expect this clutch to go this way. OPTIC, they're a tight team. They play off of each other. The trades, the triangulation, the cross-firing, that is some of the fundamentals that OPTIC play, and Device splits it down the middle, and he says, you know what? I'll take the 1v1s. I'll use the box to my advantage, and that is an unbelievable amount of game sense that Devi played in that Verizon high-speed moment there. That is, I would absolutely watch that again.
You said he wins those, though.
You
turned to me, you were like, he's going to win
I
that.
could feel it, man. I was watching it, and how, because OPTIC was so out of sync with how they were playing that. And listen, I'm not going to, not to discredit Devi, because you still have to be skilled to do that. You have to shut down Ye and Marv, who are coming at you from the different angles. But, I mean, just outlandish stuff coming out from the PRX guys. These guys are here to play. And it doesn't matter that they haven't played on the stage up until this point. Like, Devi's been out. He's been in quarantine for most of this tournament. He's out here, and the guy's like playing some of the best Valorant we've seen.
Against OPTIC as well. I think we forget, like, the opponent that they have, they're going up against. You mentioned this already, Ren, but we're heading on to Bind now, and this is where people usually say it's a free win for PRX. We might as well just give them that win here.
I think that they are the best team in the world right now playing Bind. They have so many cool looks when they play their Eurocomp. It's incredibly hard to prepare for because they are so willing to do off-the-cuff plays, stuff that revolves around the TPs, and honestly, Forsaken and Jing, we've been talking loads and loads and loads about them, but it's the support behind it on PRX that makes this team so dominant on this map. It's their ability to set Forsaken up for great things when he's playing that Euro.
My biggest worry is that when you go up against a team like PRX on Bind, which is their absolute home playground, this is something that they roam about as if they know it better than anyone else. And you're right, they do. My problem is that if you're OPTIC, you actually have to prepare for your opponent. You can't play your best Valorant because you're constantly having to adapt to what the best Valorant is on the other side of the coin there. That's PRX. That's going to be the most difficult because you're not focused on what it is you need to do. You're focused on what it is they are doing and how you adapt to that. That's very complex.
Yeah, I had a chat with Chet today, earlier this morning when I saw him, and he said to me, our win condition today is not worrying about PRX. He was like, we just have to do what we do, because the second you alter your game plan, specifically just worrying about the Yoru and them, he feels like that's when you lose.
I think he's honestly on the right track in terms of the mentality, because you cannot really prepare for this Eurocomp. They will pull out plays that they have never done before in competitive history. They will combo their utility in ways that you cannot prepare for. And that is the biggest key, I think, that OPTIC have, and the biggest trait that they have moving into this series is that experience and being able to adapt on the fly. That's what they're going to lean into now when we're heading into Bind. And I kind of agree with Chet's mentality. If they want to play their own game and kind of ignore that style, I think you can't get sidetracked by that to a degree. You, of course, have to be worried about it, but you can't let it command your entire presence in the server.
I think they will have to be incredibly reactive. In fact, they're going to have to be one of the best reactive teams that we've seen throughout this entire tournament, and reacting whilst also implementing your own plan. That is a high level amount of gameplay that you will only see on a stage like this. So this is the kind of thing that OPTIC need to put up. This is unreal.
Yeah, Vanessa's just speaking a million miles an hour.
That's what happens when Daddy calls. You know that, friend. You know that. I will say though, OPTIC, they are a Masters winner. It is the same roster. They haven't changed anything. These guys, they have what it takes to win. Jess, as we head into the Prime Gaming Agent Select, what would you say is their biggest win condition here on this buy?
Are we talking about OPTIC here?
Yes.
I think it's reacting to what they see and being tighter. I think they weren't tight enough on map number 1. Their fundamentals, I said, is something that they're very good at, but they themselves were not able to display it. And do we get to change it all?
Yeah.
Is that what we're seeing here?
The PRX composition changing up. This is, I believe they run this again, but my memory is lacking, so I can't remember if they played it too much in officials. But it's a different look.
So smart.
And, yeah,
it's so smart.
PRX do this. I mean, honestly, even FPX did it when they were running their Euros so much that it became easy to prepare for. But this throws a wrench into things, because now if OPTIC have prepared for this Euro comp, they're going to find a different one staring back at them.
Or conversely, if PRX think they've prepared, but they haven't, and they've already given away the ace up their sleeve, they may have been able to give away one of their biggest win conditions on this map.
They're bringing in the double controller. What is happening? What is this? They're going for the double controller. There's no Yoru. I'm a little bit worried for OPTIC, but at the same time, I feel like nobody wants to play against the Yoru anyway.
This could be a good opportunity for OPTIC to take this map, though, now.
Yes.
Now that they're playing against something that, I mean, I think the Euro is a comp where you can't prep for it even if you know it's coming because it's so overwhelming at times. But this is a comp they understand. This is a comp that people have played against them before.
You say that, I actually don't think the Euro was one of their biggest win conditions. I think taking space with Jing and being able to flash in for him has been... So if they have that capacity, regardless, I think the Euro, it's flashy, it's nice, it's all of those things. But I don't specifically think that was the win condition for them on their attacking side. So maybe on the defensive, getting intel, being able to respond very quickly, it was. But I think on the attacking side, they'll be safe and set with Jing.
I would love to know what's going through FNS and Chet's mind right now, seeing those agents that's coming in. And I also love to know what Doug and Bala make of this. Over to you guys.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting Yoru.
I am super disappointed, but I'm also in agreement that it throws out the wrenches and the prep that FNS has. FNS and Chat definitely have done on this map.
I mean, the whole thing with trying to deal with that comp is how do you prepare for it? Bren mentioned it. Even if you try, you really can't. But PRX throw the ultimate juke and move away from that to this composition that you see here on your screen. OPTIC got beaten, they got battered on map 1, and now they have a chance to punch back map 2.
So as we start this, by the way, Bren was right about the comp. This is something that they played PRX multiple times on their way here to Copenhagen. And it's another opening frag for Forsaken onto Ye.
He tries to get the orb, but Crashies gets 3. Perhaps a bit greedy. Not able to land the 4th. Victor does, though. Pistol goes in favor of OPTIC. That's the start they needed.
That was beautiful stuff from Crashies to swing through their own molly, which obviously didn't get much value, didn't vulnerable anybody, but wow. Then the nade from Victor, too, on the tap of the orb.
Well done.
And this is the situation that you always get scared of with OPTIC is as soon as they lose, man, they're going to chip on their shoulder larger than anything, especially when it's a stomp like it was on map 1.
And it's like you've poked the beast in a lot of ways. No buy up here from PRX. See the utility across showers.
A lot early spent.
Yeah. Mollies, nades, a little bit of everything, really.
Trailblazer through spots both outside of bathroom. So Marv will decide whether he wants to stay or whether they want to set up a nade play.
They have 2 here. It's well done.
Yay to receive in lamps too while they worry about Forsaken.
He's going to teleport away to safety. There's a shorty. Yay takes care of Dubai. Swing comes through. His Mind Freak is left in a 1v4.
Launching smoke.
That was a really, really well played round in all regards to the manner. Mind Freak might have a lot to say about it though, and they have actually rotated off of B. If Finesse is fast enough, he'll be able to cut off the TP.
Against 3? Against 2? Okay. Yay with the shorty at the end. Cleans things up as OPTIC at the 2nd.
Kill on the Finesse is ridiculous, but they did have the proper setup, and that was definitely an improvement on the last maps. Anti-eco. And this is why we're so terrified. Look at the record for PRX.
That's outrageous.
but it is different now, slightly. So what did they lose without the Yoru? I think they lose a lot of the map presence that Yoru is able to provide. He could be on one side of the map and then in the blink another, at least on this attack side. They also lose the immense amount of mind games that go through with the TPs.
Finesse has a shorty here, light armor. Again, you see the Trailblazer taking B long. Info gather while PRX tests the water towards A short. Trying to sneak the way up around the utility as the Viper wall goes down. No challenge had yet.
Cheeky wall drop though. Trying to find Victor there after the boom bot.
Yeah. He tucks into the smoke, Bankai on the tap, the nade comes through. No plant yet. No easy way to flip the map either. You see Forsaken is fully established U-Haul control and he's gonna get challenged. You see Crashy trying to go forward, trying to go aggressive. But he hasn't swung out yet. There he comes, there he comes! Crashy's one! Not able to get the second. 2v2, Zormal Strike drops. And it's Ye who's able to clean things up. Devi has been ice in these situations, but Ye gets it this time. OPTIC gets a 3.
Risky decision there with 13 HP from Ye to hold on to it, but he has been phenomenal. 18 kills in the first game. Oh, it was a fast one. And Finesse only had a judge there too, so I'm not sure how fast he would have been able to recover the weapon if Ye fell here. Ooh, that was crispy. The ADS at the same time. And here we go, converted bonus. It's this moment right here where PRX really went on a streak on the last map, and Jing with the stinger. In the Fnatic game, he was ridiculous on that thing, bringing it back from the depths of prior patches.
Mention Jing with the stinger. He's actually going to work his way up off the Prowler. Dashes his way forward.
Seekers for Crashies to be clear. Marv 2 finds the opener on Mind Freak.
And now the Molly too. They're just going to flip the map.
Really great reclear for OPTIC with that Molly. The smoke coming up at the same time. Crashies has spotted nobody's sand, so Victor and Marv are on notice.
Jing falls. Great response, but Forsaken still able to cause problems. 4v3 here. As you hear just gunfire erupt across the site. Ye's there to welcome Forsaken. Devi and Bankai follow suit. OPTIC 4-0.
Does this feel a little bit like something we've seen here, Doug?
Yes, it does. I'm getting deja vu flashbacks.
We were here 5 days ago since we've seen these teams play. And they got stomped map 1 and then stomped back on map 2. It's only 4-0. PRX with a timeout. Now Alex is going to talk to the team and figure out how to plug the gaps like they did on Haven.
Yeah, it is early, but you can kind of feel it, right? It's like it's a thickening in the air before a storm. OPTIC are in a position here to where they can make something happen.
Yeah. Typically, the storm is Forsaken walking into the site.
Yeah, that is
right? And without Yoru, this map is so impossible. It's not like Ascent, it's not like Haven, in the sense that you could pull rotations and then jump out of a choke silently. The only place you could do that really is A Lamps. And they've tried, they definitely have.
Again, with that Yoru comp in mind, oftentimes you have to believe none of what you see and half of what you hear, right? But with this, it's much more expected, right? It's a bit more run-of-the-mill. You kind of know what you're getting.
Well, wouldn't necessarily say with PRX that it'll anytime be run-of-the-mill, ever, right?
It is PRX.
And I will say, Jing right now has not gone for much fast aggression. For example, the double satchel that OPTIC loved to do down into the bathrooms, he did do that a lot in the prior match as well, but this time he's really been focused on Hookah. Yay, a big angle.
Oh, Mind Freak with a similar one, and they're getting a challenge at the same time. Ye wins his duel. Can Mind Freak? No. OPTIC get 2.
And Bankai playing catch up, but OPTIC falling way away. Ye's already here on the B site.
Jing is still flirting around in Hookah, but the spike is on the other side of the map. Looks like it's going to join him, though. Can Bankai play spoiler? Spots
fall back. Meanwhile, Finesse has pushed himself all the way into Octagon, so Jay has to challenge Jing, and he will fall.
And he gets a second. Finesse was able to take care of Divide, but that was it. Now Jing with 70 HP.
Molly can take it down fast.
Be careful, Yak, he gets the spike down, and he manages to preserve his life. He tries to get up top, 24 HP. He's in a 1v3, and no antics this time. Marv cleans him up. They're going to get the defuse. Optic get to 5.
In a row, too. And Marv now has the ult. Victor has his ult, too. We've seen so many good trap plays from Optic, but in that round, yeah, definitely. After losing the original kill from Forsaken, which, by the way, was completely dry all along here. He's running it by himself, playing the TP, playing his anchor. And Ye is too fast for that.
And really, the one bright spot on the first map, you see he's able to continue his antics, but this time it's more by committee. Crash, he's playing very well as well.
Oh, he's not happy about this round, or at least the match, how it's going so far.
Tour de force through, a flash down long towards Fountain. And once again, space taken on showers from Optic. Look at the pressure that they're already able to apply. Victor has no way out of this. He's gonna go forward, and he gets one with the showstopper! Tries to get the second, and he does!
And you never see PRX walking into trap plays of their opponents.
One enemy remaining.
They're just jumping through the decay there, and Finesse is just able to clean it up. Marv on the TP, though, does give Mindfreak a little something.
He's gonna need a lot of something. With no armor, with 47 HP.
He's behind him, too.
Finesse is getting 3Ks, Optic get to 6. We thought it was a whirling dervish of pain on the side of PRX before. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Does anyone have fun?
They thought they had Victor dead to rights with that nade. With the molly as well, which would have instantly killed him.
Yeah, it was a great setup.
And then Finesse as well, who set up the showstopper as well. There was a vulnerable coming in with the snake bite. And it's 6-0.
They've got to do something here.
You want to
Jing has a
play,
showstopper.
play.
And he has that stinger in hand. You hear Tour de Force come through Forsaken once again. Way up. Trailblazer in his face, has to give the space up. Elbow spotted. Benkai falls.
Surprised they actually walk into that knowing that Ye wasn't on an angle here on long. Forsaken got deep up there before he TP'd. And they walk into it.
Ye's still concealed, they don't know he's here.
Teleport's ready.
How do they even clear?
I don't know that you do. The one real thing they have here is Jing's stinger. But he's not in a position to satchel out a hookah or anything like that. They haven't even taken hookah because of the alarm bot that's there. Well, now they know the op's there. Cheeky little swing out from PRX, not to get the kill, but Ye took a chunk of damage.
I mean, Jing trying to set up Forsaken there with his shoulder peek. Forsaken definitely could have found the value there.
Ye missing the shot, the threat is there. They know that they've lost hookah.
How do you get through this wall? This is a full fuel Viper wall right now.
Left.
Here.
And they're out of options. They have to go through.
The one thing they have is Devi's ult, but
Last player standing.
nothing really you can do here. Devi with the clean one, but Marved even cleaner. Optic 7.
This is a phenomenal response from Optic. 7-0 after losing that first map, the worst they've ever lost on an international stage.
You know I like quoting famous philosophers.
I do. People have no clue.
Oh, no. Well, this one will resonate. Hear me out. It was the wise
got
man,
5 seconds.
Marshawn Lynch, who said everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. PRX had a plan. They changed the compositions, but, dog, they've had nothing.
Yeah. And they're going back again for this aggression. Last time it was Mindfreak to receive. This time Divide. And the Prowler spots him, so other players are going to be able to join. Optic cannot chew off more here. And they won't. All they'll net themselves is one amazing ultimate here. The Seekers on this map. As the rotations come through. One thing they're certainly missing is flashes in this comp. And they're not going to be able to clear Ye off this angle. And there it is, Jing falls. The pivotal instrument towards this B hit that consistently comes in for PRX.
And that's right beneath the 2UC history position as Nightfall comes through. Ye still with the operator, just unfortunately not able to land the shots as Mind Freak's able to clean up Finesse too. The orbital strike causes problems for now. PRX just funnel out, they push their way out, they push their way forward. And now they have an orbital strike of their own. Crashies and Victor on the other side. Victor gets one with a nade of all things. Forsaken on the plant. Mind Freak weak. Crashies forward.
Player standing.
Mind Freak gets the third. Victor's gonna have to do it himself, and he cannot. PRX are on the board.
But it's still a long path ahead. One round here on their attacking side. A place where they cause so much problems over and over. Right now, OPTIC seems to be completely happy with what they're throwing at them. I do think that PRX on that round, they were in a position that I certainly did not expect them to be able to win, especially after that orbital strike. It felt like 3 players were volleyed in the middle of that, so quite shocking. They've got 2 players boosted up on elevation here, and they haven't hit this A site in quite a while, so OPTIC making the perfect play.
We have liftoff, and it's a no-fly zone! The showstopper finds nothing as Marv gets him! 4v4 here, you hear the Viper's Pit come through. Benkai tries to shroud what he's up to on the side, and he does. Forsaken takes care of Ye. Demons exercise as PRX look to put together a beautiful round. How do OPTIC get back into this? I mean, they have money for days, so sure. Risk it, why not?
1 enemy remaining.
But Crashy's entirely outnumbered, and they know where he is. They smell blood in the water. But perhaps Crashy's is a shark. He's gotten 2. Time not on his side, though, and you still have to deal with the Viper's Pit. Mind Freak cleans him up. PRX get the second.
No chance there. They took down Mind Freak. Benkai low. W Gaming here, full force. As they cling together too, and this is the streak of rounds that is instrumental to success right now. Shut down the momentum, the motivation from OPTIC. For Marv to shut down the showstopper early. They thought that was a win condition, but immediately he gets traded out.
That was a hell of a shot too, man. Timeout coming through for OPTIC as PRX have won the last 2 rounds. And perhaps we're flirting with something here where the rounds come in bunches. OPTIC had won 7 straight before PRX found some of their footing, and that's why you see chat call it here.
Got to make this as brutal as possible to make the second half comeback impossible. And the things that worked there, honestly, was the late round trading, the late round decision making for them to get up close. Because both of those situations, OPTIC got the initial kill. So these are definitely not, you know, crazy fluke rounds. This is PRX really putting something together here. And they have switched the wall. More traditional here for Benkai to lurk up into the lamps. And oftentimes that is very, very intended to punish Chambers in this situation. And Ye is there at lamps. What a different style we've seen from PRX so far. So slow in comparison to their typical pace. The fastest easily at this event.
And I mean, even when they've tried going fast, they just haven't found much success. Cheeky little setup, good counter molly. Forsaken takes a little bit of damage.
I mean, it's so crazy that they're willing to do that when Ye's on the other side.
Forsaken pushed through. Jing tried to get on the trade, but it was Crashies who wins that one out. Crashies puts another to sleep. It's a 5v3 here for OPTIC, as once again, it seems like their rate of winning out, like outrageously high number of rounds after a timeout may continue.
Spamming.
Clean up from Finesse to get one, not able to get the second. You still have the operator in the hands of VA backside. Oh, the gun barrel gives him away, but he wasn't expecting Forsaken, and now Tour de Force online.
Launching smoke. They're TPing out too.
Flipping the map.
Marv has no stim here to get back fast, but he will be in short. They have the trip up though from Forsaken.
They're trying to storm the gate safe. The rotations are not late. It's a 1v1. Marv against Benkai. Controllers, but the bullets don't come through for Marv as Benkai gets 3.
Crucial 1v1 to win. And consistently the clutches are caving on the side of OPTIC. It was a massive problem for them in their series against PRX. It was a reason why that initial game went lopsided. Even though they're typically so good. That clutch rounds. And this is a great comeback after a 7-0. Remember, 7-0. Here's the double satchel from Jing. Slow on the ground, but it's a fast reaction from Victor, but all it nets is a trade.
The Seekers, too, to make sure they hadn't fully established Showers control, so they're going to be able to work their way forward into that.
Yeah, he also found Benkai on the other side of the map. Might find Forsaken here too, and he does.
Dude, and it's the little things. Crashy's flashes into short right during that. And that's exactly where PRX are going. And off of this, OPTIC with a big numbers advantage. 4v2, Mind Freak.
This is a judge here. Swing with the flash.
Judge is there. The spam through. It gets cleaned up. Finesse with the judge, as you said, as OPTIC get to 8.
Last round in
It's
the
that
half.
aggressive pace from PRX that ends up costing them. Their OPTIC completely ready for the bathroom aggression, completely ready for both Benkai and Forsaken to try to take some space long. And this map, definitely Jing and Forsaken not finding as much value as they did. We'll see though, Forsaken, only headhunters here in the final round of the half. Definitely a broken bye here for PRX.
PRX with a non-existent buy, man. The operator in the hands of Marv as Jing falls.
Copenhagen and Brimstone Ops. Name a better duo, and he gets it again.
Oh, shot. Marv gets a second. You see Victor trying to play in a spot where he's able to welcome them, and yay, with the tour de force on the other side.
Marv in the middle of all that gets that off, but finally a shot missed. They'll have Victor to back him up though, and it will net the kill and potentially net the half and respond right back to PRX with a 9-3 of their own.
Benkai just on the other side. He switches over to the Vandal. Prime Gaming Flawless comes through as Ye takes care of Benkai. A 9-3 half response for OPTIC after the bludgeoning that they took on map 1.
Yeah.
Excellent response.
I mean, I'm wondering if all that people talking that Finesse was doing at the beginning of the game was them completely breathing a sigh of relief. After they see no Yoru here, this definitely did not work out for PRX, at least on this half. And this is what I was mentioning, Marv getting off that orbital strike in the middle of fighting on both sides. Perfect for EA to be able to pinch them as they go for the TP.
An excellent response out from OPTIC. Watch the throne, because kings kill when princes feel power.
We're going to half.
Thank you very much, Baller and Doug. There is another 9-3, but this time in the favor of OPTIC. I've got Jess and Brent back here with me. Brent, OPTIC, they have an answer. They have the discipline, and the game plan is working.
Yeah, it's kind of handed them on a plate, I think, because the composition of PRX are playing, it's so clear that they're uncomfortable to a degree. Like, they want to play fast and loose, and when they are controlled, when they're running the double controller, the double smokes, they have to play at a bit of a slower tempo to take map control, and they are struggling because of it. They are struggling so much.
It looked like it took 7 rounds until they were confident enough to take those opening duels, to take space on the map.
Yep.
That being said, the man on your screen right now was one that was denying them a lot of that space. I think OPTIC had a perfect read on the power positions on the map. And this man, we spoke about flashes and the likes of getting Jing in. Conversely, OPTIC had one of the best flashes in the entire server, just going, you can't have it, you can't have it, this is my spot, don't come in.
But I loved how hard OPTIC were fighting over this map control. The entire time, Showers was being denied, Hookah was being re-cleared. They were always taking opportunities to essentially punish and play with complete confidence. You've just got flattened on map number 1, and you've come back in, and you're playing with this much confidence, this much gall to be able to take the fight to PRX. I mean, they are just honestly a world-class and a different team. This is what experience affords you, is opportunities like this to not, just fall quietly into the night. You will fight back tooth and nail, and the fact that it's 9-3 is absurd, but there was adaptations towards the end. Forsaken ended up capitalizing, re-clearing the space, taking it back again as we saw in that final clip. There were attempts by PRX, but is it too late? Is it too little? Because they are sitting at that 9-3 scoreline.
We did say they're one of those attacking-sided teams, so to go into a half where you might not be comfortable, you don't have the usual composition that you run right on the map with, I tend to stray away. I mean, I got the green wall wearing today, and I have a nice little stat to throw up for everyone. If you're aware, OPTIC have won every single map of their opponent so far throughout this tournament. Not just their own map pick, but if their opponent has picked a map, they've won it. 4 of the times that they've gone and they've had to face their opponent's map pick, they've won it, and I think they might make it 5-0.
It's looking like it, isn't it?
I think so too, yeah. OPTIC are looking great at taking the fight to PRX. But PRX, they got to bounce back here. They have to bounce back. It's not an elimination match. They will have a second chance, whoever loses. And I'm going to throw this over back to Doug and Bala to get back into the second half of Vine.
One half in the books, and if you're a fan of OPTIC, you're enjoying the tale that's been told so far. Meanwhile, if you're a paper people? What do we go with? Paper people? Yeah, paper people. You're not digging this one.
Ooh, and a fast double satchel again from Victor. And this has been so successful. There's no Brimstone stim here, though, but here we go. That kind of receive.
And the molly to
the pinch!
They're just going for it. Forsaken's there, and once again, he gets the opener on the round. The spike still back Showers as there are fights all over the site.
And OPTIC already succumbing a little bit to the aggression that we expect from PRX. They even got a hunt down Long B. And Ye was not able to put it down, so a lot of information here for PRX to work with, and I think at this point, they can just chill. Look at the rotation coming in towards this A side. Jing is already here, and he has a nade.
Finesse so weak, too. It's actually Ye who's going first. No challenge across the U-Haul. There was one towards Dice, and well, it doesn't work out for Mindfreak. Crash U's just shown up too. It's a 2v2 here, though. They're certainly not out of the woodworks yet.
Wait!
He's gotten into a 1v1. Yay against Dubai. Again, clutches have not been on the side of OPTIC so far.
And he knows the information. He's going to plant. Force spawn, no.
No, he's not.
30 seconds left.
All the way.
Bad guy. Dubai has no idea. And the thing is, even if Dubai were to go in short right now, Ye would know.
And he can't even hear the spike plant. There, he's scratching his head, wondering what the heck happened here.
Goes through the telly again. Yay, wise as to what's going on. 1 shot left in that Headhunter.
And the weapon will be in Devi's favor with the Ghost.
Yeah. He's looking to put that one bullet right between Devi's eyes, and he's not able to, but he does with the clutch. Ye gets 3, OPTIC get 10.
And the pistol round for the leaders this time, too. OPTIC received the statement, received the letter of intent from PRX, and
nice round, Jay. Come on,
they send back a cease and desist on a map that has been completely undefeated, spotless for PRX right here. And look at this. Off the backs of that clutch from Ye, PRX is going to say, let's go for a buy here. There's a lot of SMGs here. A Stinger, 2 Spectres.
While OPTIC looking to spoil that day, they still have the gun advantage, even with the investment on the side of PRX.
Preemptively firing the peak there from Ye. Not looking for the Prowler, looking for somebody walking down with it.
The silence deafening. As PRX have no idea what OPTIC want to do here. And they're going to go about it the quiet route. Now you see that flash come through. Counter flash, Prowler trying to find something. And it's Jing who's able to get the opener, but Victor has made his way in. And Victor not able to get more with it. You see the investment, it may have worked out. But now Finesse with 40 HP in a 1v3. He's got the Spectre, and Benkai cleans it up. The Stinger too good.
And PRX has been phenomenal after losing their pistol rounds so far this tournament. Before this game, they were 2-3, a 40% win rate in that round specifically. And that's not one that they could get massive advantages with, or, you know, being able to buy a Vandal or anything like that because of a couple of kills or anything. There's no spike plant money from the defender side. Forsaken going fast on top of this box. It could definitely catch OPTIC off guard here. Oh, he's hiding in the one-way too. This is old school tech.
They don't know. What a setup as Forsaken goes double dipping. Gets a second, third not there. But Benkai cleans things up on Showers.
The dot's cold there. For OPTIC, not able to actually read the situation.
One enemy remaining.
That Viper orb was phenomenal, and Finesse is just, I mean, he's just dead. The setup from PRX, they just keep up coming up with such cool things. Just immediately dropping the orb as soon as you could. Forsaken, that's an easy kill against actually a complete anti-strat to that wall that is becoming more and more popular, that actually gives some space on top of that box to peek from. The typical one that we saw, you know, at Reykjavik and tournaments prior was always covering that box up.
Would you look at that ball? We got a little, oh, well, we had a little dual op setup. EA decides to go for the Vandal. Forsaken still has it. Gonna challenge into short, but again, no one there.
Nice trap here from Victor. They're gonna get the flash, and oh, Mind Freak not able to escape, but gets the one anyways.
Jing lying in wait and Hookah again. The gun barrel, the most deceptive of things, but yay, swings around anyway. Forsaken with the op, had a shot at the collapse, which is over. Sleight of hand not on his side. Now it's Benkai who's left outnumbered in a 1v3.
Spike planted.
And how the heck does he do this one?
Not when they know where he's at. Crashes get to heal up on Finesse as well. He's back up to 100.
So far away. Those little dinosaur arms that he walked out with, causing serious problems here as he swings around, and well, he's greeted by a firing squad, courtesy of OPTIC.
11-5, and while that eco round certainly didn't let this game get completely out of hand for PRX like we saw from OPTIC in the first map, it's still a long path. Jing there too. Definitely should have gotten that kill on the A.
Jacob, come here. Lock, baby. Get up.
I'm locked. Yay, displaying some confidence.
The most unassuming of the group.
Yeah. Usually he's like, I mean, that was lucky.
Interesting buy here out from PRX. Forsaken has that to Horus. Well, he had it as he just gets dropped instantly.
That duel is going to be so much fun to watch.
Secrets through, Benkai with Roomba in his face. Didn't get a chance to clear it out at all. As Victor won with the nade, as he's going up top, he's going deeper, he's looking for more. Viper's Pit to conceal anything that's happening on the site.
These executes super clean here from OPTIC. The amount of utility that's on that spawn door, the pipes exit, ridiculous to deal with. And it forces you to be peeking when they're walking out of bathroom. So that's just easy kills to clean up for OPTIC.
Yeah, I don't think PRX want the heat, man.
And they're going to let him get to match point, but for good reason. If they lost players here, it would have been basically map.
Economy obviously not in great shape either. You see Mind Freak with only 900 credits. Yeah, he's going to bring in the Orbital Strike to the next round.
Last player standing.
Good swing.
And the nice thing is now that Showstopper's online too.
Yeah.
For Jinx, now you see 2 key ultimates online here.
Sure.
Match point.
As we get up to match point here for OPTIC. The narrative that we had coming into this map was there's no way OPTIC come back against a team as good at this map as PRX. It looks like the decision to switch away from the prep so far that they've been playing at this tournament definitely costing them. One more chance here for PRX. One more opportunity to keep this map alive. And look at the space they've taken, the haunt, to find something through that smoke potentially, but it doesn't find anything, so they go exploring. And a gap for Benkai too, here in the wall.
Do they check it? Wall goes down.
To be clean.
That's unfortunate. The Molly hit right in the face. Now the nade there, Benkai, nowhere to go. Nothing is safe. As Ye trying to check this tight angle, but he could get leaked out from U-Haul. There's the challenge, Orbital Strike comes through. We mentioned that ult at the beginning of the round.
Looking for Forsaken too.
Do they rotate back into his lap?
Love the way that Mind Freak is playing this.
He's just waiting. Patiently, he gets a big kill.
Spike down A.
Now knowledge of where the spike is, the Molly to cut things off.
And Forsaken can strike at any point here too, because information right now is only that Mind Freak's on the flank, but he gets a little greedy and Crashes finds something too. Oh no! It's falling apart.
It's off the rails. But Forsaken brings it right back. It's now Marved in a 1v2. Benkai weak. Forsaken light armor.
Does he know?
He may. He's staring right at it. Averts his gaze. How does Marv do this? He doesn't. That's how. PRX get to 6.
Great round for PRX on a number of levels. The one weapon was enough. Save from the last round. And the push immediately down long B. OPTIC was not set up to receive. And also, we have to keep in mind, Marked is all the way deep at him, so he spots that pocket, but Benkai specifically was playing there to counter the Victor double satchel. They won't go for it. They're going to go for that trap play with the Molly elbow and the double satchel here. All the way down. Forsaken's here, though.
No, Benkai drops the fight. Bit thrown short, but the rest of the fight is happening on the other side of the map. Jin gets so high! And he manages to get one with the showstopper. OPTIC just get dismantled, but Ye somehow gets 2 with the tour de force. Hasn't equalized the round quite yet.
Trip just went off, and he also hears the Prowler, Doug, so he knows exactly where both of these players are.
I have the spike.
And he receives the spike immediately, so a lot of time, a lot of space for him to punish Devi here, who will be in a 1v1. 21-9 for him.
Again, you mentioned that 1v1. Devi playing an elbow, Ye quietly sneaking his way forward. Benkai still on the other side of the map, as Ye has so many options before him.
45 seconds to...
Is he gonna walk all the way back?
He's got no. He clears everything, so he knows nobody playing close sight at least. Now he sets up his TPs too, so he can get back out of this situation.
Devi just now starting to move. Ye gets the spike down, Devi's on the swing, the head-to-head, and Ye is dead.
And what started a few rounds ago now for PRX, it's certainly real. This was, again, aggression against aggression. OPTIC want to go for that double satchel up long. But the classic PRX, this time they actually add Jing to the mix, which just works so well with the showstopper. The haunt in that smoke provides so much value, and they're going to go for it again. And even here, Devi might still send that same exact message.
Going to Prowler in the face of the satchel, and he has to throw it in reverse. Nightfall there, and it's going to hit almost everyone. Ye's the only one who's not there. The swing out doesn't find a ton. It's actually Optical winning these duels. Oh! But Devi!
Down B.
With 3 and Ye's left alone. Devi gets 4. PRX. They're not done with Bind.
Not at all. They gave themselves a hope with the eco round win. And now a few in a row as OPTIC need to find a way to close this out. It's not going to leave Ye in 1vx situations at the end of every single round.
One enemy remaining.
Defy. He joins the stage for the first time this tournament and ends up popping off.
He has been a scoundrel this entire series. Again, you know, we mentioned it on the first map. We talk so much about these other players on the side of PRX, and well, for good reason, right? Like, you've got a star-studded lineup over there. But Defy, he's putting everyone on notice.
Yeah, at least in these important moments. A couple of clutch situations, or anti-clutch situations, you could call them, that 2 versus 1 for him. He's only at 8 and 17, but massive, massive impact. And on the first round, his stats definitely reflected that impact. This time, not so much. Mind Freak, 18 and 16.
That's crazy. It means Defy was 4 and 17 before that round. But man, you talk about impact, you're absolutely right.
And there's even more than that. Obviously, you got the 4K in that round, but the Fade Prowler shuts down the actual push from Victor there, who's trying to go around the corner with a flash from Crashies. And it was good. Both Mind Freak and Defy were flashed. But the Prowler stopped him. He can't go against the flash if he's flashed. Forsaken's challenging Bathroom here with an op of his own. An OPTIC on a really, really light buy. They're going to tuck.
No, they're not. Great response out from Crashies, though. As Jink falls, you still have the operator in play Forsaken. And now some info gathered. They understand there is some presence down forward. Off of that, there's the pinch, and Mind Freak gets another. Looking to be one of the cleanest rounds PRX have put together.
Teleport's ready.
And it is worth noting, OPTIC with a broken buy coming into this one. You still see the remnants of that finesse from the Stinger. Marv with just a Sheriff. Options almost non-existent. Crispy shot, but PRX gets to 9. And this is like this coming round, Balla, this is where we'll see the impact of the timeout that was called previously.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All smiles for the PRX fans as they put together now 4 in a row. They've come from 12 to 5. Still 3 match points to go. Important here that they build the bank. So no matter what happens in the round, they're consistently going to have money equipped to take on the push. But look at this, Forsaken might actually go for a peek into the TP.
Yeah, what is he up
to challenge Yay.
Yep.
No, he's gonna get out of there for sure.
Drops the alarm bot too. The swing is there. Victor cleans up Jing.
Not a good start here for PRX. They've been winning the early engagements.
And off of that, Victor now one step closer to that showstopper. Forsaken still has that tour de force. Holding down showers, but again, OPTIC cut noise.
Crash is also with